be talking about our pets. And while we have made videos on veterinary care on the road for our pets, we have mainly only talked about our dogs and our cats. We've mentioned a little bit about our rabbits, but what we haven't done is exclusively talked about having exotic pets on the road. So while I would love to talk about my beautiful sweetie girl right here, she's so cute, guys, or my adorable alley cat back here, this video is going to be focused on our rabbits. And the reason is because we've gotten so many comments from those of you that also have exotic pets, whether it's a rabbit, a bird, a reptile of some sort, and what our thoughts are on traveling with exotic type pets on the road. So today, let's talk about our rabbits.
Not you.
Not you. Sorry. It's okay though. It's okay, we always talk about you. We always talk about you.
It's not always about you!
Sorry. The number one question we get about our pets is, why do we travel with rabbits? Some people are so confused, why do we have rabbits on the road? And it's actually a super easy answer. It's because we had them before we ever even hit the road. Before it was ever even a blip on our radar that we wanted to travel full time, we had our rabbits. And it was something we contemplated, rehoming them. It really was. And we knew that if they weren't good with travel after we hit the road, we would rehome them. This wasn't something, we weren't just gonna keep them with us if they weren't happy. So the reason that we decided to not just initially rehome them is because we know how to take care of rabbits. There are a lot of myths that go along with how to care for them, what foods they can eat, how often they need to go to the doctor, whether or not you actually have to like check them over monthly to make sure everything's fine. And if we were to rehome them, we couldn't guarantee to ourselves that they would have the best home possible. So we wanted to make sure, since we already knew how to take care of them, and we do love them very dearly. They are so super sweet, and they love being pet, and their ears scratched. We knew that if they were fine with traveling on the road, that we would be able to give them the happiest life possible. Since hitting the road, we've tested out a couple different cage configurations for our rabbits. First, they were next to my side of the bed, and they had a smaller cage that we would leave open and they would hop in and out of. And then I went to this much larger design, and I am very happy with this larger design. I actually made it myself with these square little metal pieces, and I tied it all together, and I made them a second shelf where they can hop up and down because rabbits need that type of exercise. They need to be able to jump up and down pretty often. And I love this cage for them. They have this entire section all to themselves. They can hide in here if they want, and their cage is left open all day long. All day, every day. I guess except when we were sleeping at night, but just to keep them from destroying stuff in the trailer while we're asleep. And it's always open like this. This is down so Sweetie can't stick her head in there because she likes to eat the rabbit's food. And they have free reign of the entire RV. Other things we have done to make their cage and in the trailer itself more comfortable for them is we've added some grip texture to the bottom of their cage. It helps them jump up and down no problem. When they jump down, they don't slide, because they did used to slide a little bit. In our trailer, we have linoleum floors in here, and they hated them. They would not leave this front section of their cage. They were afraid because they have very soft feet, and so they would just slip and slide, and it was uncomfortable for them. So then we put in this padding, this foam in here, and they love it. They hop in and out all day long. They like to get into way more mischief than they used to now, but that's totally fine because they're so incredibly adorable. And the thing that I love the most about our rabbits is, despite being a prey animal, they love our cats, and our cats love them. They're so curious about each other, and Sweetie has been so good with them. She never overly bugs them, she's never stepped on them, she doesn't push them around or try and hurt them or anything. So all of our pets get along amazingly with our rabbits. So being able to make their space here in our small trailer perfect and enjoyable for them to be in has been such a huge bonus for us, because they're so much happier than we ever would have thought that they would have been in here.
Now, people's biggest fear when talking about taking exotic pets on the road, and veterinarians do consider rabbits to be exotic pets, is that they're worried that they're going to be stressed out living in an RV and stressed out traveling so often. You know, dogs and cats are pretty easy, and they're typically pretty easy to get acclimated to RVs and to travel, but exotic pets are a whole different story. And with rabbits, it's really easy to tell when they're stressed out, at least our rabbits. Now, I can't say the same about birds or reptiles or other exotic pets, but with our rabbits, it's pretty obvious. And with them, when they get really stressed out, their eyes bug out, kind of like this, you know, extreme, like that. And where their eyelid meets their eye starts to get really, really dark red, and they start to breathe really fast. And so it's easy to tell when these guys are stressed out. And thankfully, the whole time we've been on the road and traveling with them, they have not been stressed out at all from it. Now, my advice, if you're looking to take an exotic pet on the road with you, is to get them acclimated to the RV, travel trailer, fifth wheel, whatever it's going to be that you're going to be living in, before you hit the road and start traveling. So, you know, that's exactly what we did. We stayed in one place for a number of months before we actually hit the road. We moved into our travel trailer, I believe, April of 2017, and we didn't actually hit the road until July. So all of our pets had plenty of time to get acclimated to our travel trailer and our rabbits to their new cage so that they would start seeing the RV and their cage as home before the extra stress of traveling all the time was introduced. And then, if you think that your exotic pet might be stressed out by traveling, then again, before you actually hit the road, it's a good idea to gauge how stressed out being in a vehicle is going to be, you know, traveling very often, especially on long travel days. You know, Ro and I have had some very long travel days, you know, where we're traveling for 12 hours in a single day. And so we needed to make sure that our pets were going to be okay with that. And so a good thing to do is just to put them in their cage, or, you know, if you have a separate travel cage for them like we do for our rabbits that will fit in your vehicle better, put them in that, and then go on a real short trip, you know, 5-10 minutes, and then see if it stresses them out. And if it doesn't, you can extend that to something greater, like a, you know, maybe a 15, 20, 30-minute drive. And if they seem to take that okay, then you're probably going to be all right traveling with your pet. However, if they get extremely stressed out by just those short travels, or, you know, the short trips, then they might not do so well traveling, and you may need to consider rehoming them. And another piece of advice that I have for you is, if you have a travel trailer or a fifth wheel or some other towable, never leave your pets in the trailer when you're traveling, because, you know, trailers just don't have as sophisticated of suspension as automobiles do. And so it is incredibly bouncy in here when going down the road, and that's just gonna stress the heck out of any animal. And we've never left the rabbits in here, but one time we did leave our cat Alice in the travel trailer when we were moving from one site to another in a national forest. We went down the road very slow, only 5 miles per hour, and it was a really short trip from the one site to the next. But when we got there, Alice was freaked out, and so we knew for certain never leave any pet in the trailer when traveling, ever.
Veterinary care for exotic pets can be very difficult to find. When it comes to rabbits and birds and reptiles, you need to see something known as an exotic vet. And here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, there's only one that we know of. So luckily we have an option here. Everybody's on the bed right now. Everybody but Butters.
Except Butters.
And they don't mind Alice in the slightest. But when it comes to an exotic pet that does need regular care, whether it means they need to go in every month for something or they need to go in every couple of months for something, it's important to know that the exotic vets are going to be difficult to find. It took me 2 days just to find one in the hometown where we had our rabbits in our house, let alone trying to find one on the road. So if you do need to find one, it's important that before you get to a location, sweetie.
What are you doing? What are you doing, you goober?
She has to be the center of attention.
She's like, pay attention to me. This is not your shot, pup. This is not your shot.
Anyway, when it comes to picking a destination that you want to go and see while look at her! Look at her! Oh my goodness. It's a good idea to try and find an exotic vet before you ever get to that destination. If you are unable to find an exotic vet in order to take your exotic pet to when they need it, then that may be a destination that you have to pass on for now. What is this? What is this?
She's like, it's all about me.
She demanded to be on the bed, and now she's demanding to be the center of all of the attention.
It's all about me.
All about you? Is it all about you? What about these guys? These guys are so cute.
Oh,
look
yeah,
at
look
her.
at them.
Look at her. She loves her ears being rubbed. Those ear rubs. Those ear rubs. Alright, we kicked Sweetie off the bed because she's just so much of a little attention princess, giant ham of a dog that she had to be off the bed for just now. And something that you're going to possibly have to start taking care of yourself on the road if you're going to travel with an exotic pet are things that you wouldn't normally take care of, or things that you might not necessarily be comfortable taking care of when you have a house and an exotic vet that you can take them to. For example, with our rabbits, they have glands that need cleaned out. Min has glands that get clogged pretty often, so we have to do it once a month for her. Little man's pretty good though. He can go a few months. And that means that we have to hold them, we have to be able to secure them properly, to clean them, we have to trim their nails, we have to, they're very fluffy pets, so they end up getting matting sometimes on the bottoms of their feet or around their backside here where they might not be able to reach it as well. And we have to make sure that we trim those out and it doesn't ever cause any problems. But that's just with rabbits. There are all kinds of other exotic pets out there. Hamsters, guinea pigs, reptiles, birds. And I know that I grew up with birds in my household, and I know you had to file their nails down or clip their nails. You had to clip their wings. You had to file their beak. And my parents would, bless you, my parents would take our birds to an exotic vet to get that taken care of. But on the road, bless you again, you might be unable to find an exotic vet and therefore have to take care of those issues yourself. So it's important to attempt to learn some things that you're able to do yourself that you might not necessarily have been comfortable doing in a house. It's important to remember when taking exotic pets on the road that you need to do what is in their best interest. And for our rabbits, luckily they have handled traveling amazingly and they're just as happy as they can be. But that's not going to be the case for every exotic pet or even a dog or cat. And so it's important to remember that if it comes to rehoming them, that is something that you do need to seriously consider.
Yeah, when you adopt a pet, Ro and I firmly believe that you're basically making a promise to that pet, and it's now your duty to keep them happy and healthy for the remainder of their lives and do what is in their best interest. And like Ro said, sometimes that means keeping them and taking them on the road. Sometimes that means rehoming them. But I really hope that, the information we shared with you guys in this video about our rabbits was helpful to you, and that you can apply it to really any exotic pet and, for really any pet in general. But that's all for this video. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. Sweet Pea. Oh, you're gonna say bye too?
Say bye. Say bye. Oh, she got it.
Good girl.
Oh my goodness.